According to statistics, 6 out of 10 people own some type of pet, and traditionally, these pets are either dogs or cats. In fact, among pet owners, 73% own a dog or dogs, and 49% own a cat. It's no wonder that dogs take the higher percentage. After all, dog is a man's best friend. Dogs and cats are referred to as domestic pets because they are domestic animals and can cause little or no harm. But did you know that domestic animals aren't the only animals kept as pets? Wild animals are also kept as pets, and they are called exotic pets, although it is never a good idea. Today, we're going to take a look at the top most dangerous animals that are kept as pets. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. First on our list is the big cats. You turn into Nat Geo Wild, and you see a person posing for pictures and feeding wild animals like lions, tigers, cheetahs, and even leopards, and you think to yourself, I could keep one of those as pets? Well, first off, the person on TV is trained to be around such animals, and you are not. And secondly, it is a very bad idea. Being a bad idea doesn't stop it from being an idea. Some people have decided to keep these wild cats as pets in their private domiciles. For example, in the United Arab Emirates, it is considered a high status symbol when you own a cheetah or other exotic cats, and several citizens have been seen on social media flaunting their wild cats in pictures and videos. However, new laws have been placed in the country where all types of wild and domesticated but dangerous animals can only be kept in a zoo or similar centers. As much as they may seem fancy, big cats are really dangerous to keep around. Amber Michelle Couch of Odessa, Texas, along with her nephew, can testify to that. Amber was once a mountain lion owner, and one day, her 4-year-old nephew was almost mauled to death by her 12-year-old 150-pound feline pet. After the child got too close to the cage, he suffered multiple lacerations and puncture wounds all over his body and face. Luckily, he survived, but the lion had to be euthanized. Legendary boxer Mike Tyson once owned an exotic pet tiger. Many people believe that when you declaw these animals, they become less of a threat, but that isn't true at all. You may take out the claws, but their teeth and jaw strength will turn you into a perfect meal served on a platter. If you still think keeping wild cats is something you may want to try, then you could try to move to a place like Thailand. In Thailand and some other countries, there's a legal recognition to people for keeping tigers and lions as pets. Up next is none other than the well-known cold-blooded reptiles. First of all, no reptile is friendly. And snakes? They're just the worst.
Guess what? We got a prehistoric pet. Look at this giant Burmese python. Burmese pythons are the 3rd largest snake in the world.
According to statistics from the Humane Society of the United States, 18 deaths were attributed to exotic reptiles between 1990 and 2011. Some of the exotic reptiles people keep include boas, pythons, cobras, rattlesnakes, and mambas. Now, there are so many dangerous creatures and they can kill you with a single bite. Luckily, there are antivenoms, but will you be willing to be the test subject for the game? How easy are antivenoms to come by? I bet not. These antivenoms are rare and one could die from a snake bite before a vaccine comes by. Not all snakes have to bite you to prove how harmful they can be. You may have heard the saying, do not look at a cobra in the eye. Well, here is why. They are spitting cobras that can project venom from their fangs into a person's eyes, and they rarely ever miss a shot. Guess what? There are humans out there keeping these creatures as their pets. Spitting cobras are no slouches when it comes to marksmanship. The cobra's venom doesn't do anything if it just hits you on the skin or if it gets in your mouth, but once it comes into contact with your eyes and can scar the corneas and leave you blind. You could learn a thing or two from a case from New Brunswick, Canada, where 2 brothers, aged 5 and 7 years old, were strangled to death by a 16-foot-long African python, a type of constrictor, that escaped from an exotic pet store located beneath the apartment where the 2 boys were sleeping. If you still choose to get a snake, and a venomous one at that, you must take extreme safety measures. If you still choose to get a snake and a venomous one at that, you must take extreme safety measures to protect your life and the lives of everyone around you, including your family and your neighbors. Or you could stick with safer species that do not produce venom. And on a slightly dangerous note, 90% of all reptiles carry and shed salmonella bacteria in their feces, so you may want to be more careful cleaning up their messes. Next up.
Can y'all look in his throat right quick for me? Y'all see how y'all can't see down it? Yeah. That's what we call a platorial valve.
It still baffles me that people would prefer to put a pond in their homes for alligators and crocodiles rather than fish. Firstly, alligators make a really terrible pet, and just in case you didn't know, they're basically crawling dinosaurs. The average American alligator grows between 4 to 6 feet. That does not mean there are no gators out there that are nearly 14 feet long. Owning an alligator can be really dangerous, and most alligator owners set them loose when they've grown really big. In 2019, an alligator was floating around the lagoon in Humboldt Park, and it was thought to be about 5 to 6 feet long. Reports read that someone was raising raising the alligator as a pet and released it once it got too big to care for. With the larger appetite of a gator, there's only so much to feed one to keep it from eating you. Alligator attacks are rare, but that does not mean they do not attack. In 2018, Cassandra Klein, an elementary school teacher, was killed by a 9-foot alligator while protecting her dog. And keep in mind that an alligator's attack is 3 times as deadly as a shark's attack. Alligators attack prey as large as cattle, so to them, humans are nothing. One would be lucky if they do not get killed by a gator, as its full bite registers an average of 2,000 pounds. You may survive, but not without severe infection that could lead to limb amputation. An alligator could also break your bones with a whip of their tail, and this may sound funny to you. You do not want to be around a male gator during mating season. Alligators are illegal in some countries, and some states, if you still want to own one, try moving to a place where they are legal. Just make sure you don't set it loose when it becomes gigantic. Up next...
Where are you going?
I'm beginning to think that some people do not deserve to be around civilization. You know, they could live in the woods or the forest or wherever they can freely keep these animals. You would not believe this, but there are people out there who keep bears as pets because when they grow, they become big and furry and cute. They must have run out of large teddy bears at the malls. These wild animals might be among your fantasy menagerie of domesticated pets, but most of us realize that as cute and cuddly as they appear from a distance, they deserve to be free and not locked in cages as pets. Bears do not make good pets, and you should never take one of them out of its natural habitat, and keeping one of them in your house is a hazard. In 2009, a Pennsylvania woman named Kelly Ann Wall kept a lion, a tiger, and a bear, and other wild animals as exotic pets, paid the ultimate price for her mistake. When she entered the 350-pound black bear's cage for cleaning, using a dog bowl of food as a distraction, Waltz was mauled to death by the bear in front of her own children and a group of neighbors. Bears can be friendly and cuddly to their owners, but they never lose their wild instincts, and when they attack, they have no remorse for their actions, no matter how sweet you are to them. One day, nature will kick in, and you do not want to be on the receiving end of that paw. For example, we have a case of Stefan Miller, a famous Hollywood animal trainer who was mauled to death by his loving bear. A trained animal that after years of appearing TV commercials and films with a friendly and docile attitude, suddenly gave in to his wildness. Yes, bear cubs are adorable, but they don't stay small for long. One day they will grow taller and larger than you, and they could knock you over and even kill you with a swift blow from a paw. Next up, don't be fooled by the story of how humans evolved from primates. Our physiques may be slightly similar, but our mannerisms are thousands of miles apart.
Okay, so Greenville, let's go. Ooh, freezer. He walks on countertop.
Primates are cute and childlike, but they also act like babies permanently, and everyone knows dealing with a baby isn't easy, especially when the baby becomes erratic. There are many issues tied to keeping monkeys as pets, such as their ability to transmit diseases to humans like monkeypox, herpes B, HIV, and salmonellosis. They're also prone to rampages without warning. When in their erratic state, they can possess shocking levels of strength while lacking reason, and it becomes almost impossible to control them. Exotic pets do not have to be large to cause harm. A 3-foot-high, 9-year-old monkey called JJ, who wore a diaper, dressed up as Santa for the holidays, and played with the children at his Okeechobee, Florida home, was shot dead after he unexpectedly turned on his owner, ripping apart his hand, buttocks, and thighs. His owner suffered over 200 stitches as well as medications to prevent infections. JJ had been in the family since he was 3 weeks old, but that didn't ring in his head when he went on a rampage. Think twice before getting a monkey. That is a wrap for today's video. Thanks for watching.